everyone, welcome back to the Kia Hyundai channel. My name is Charlotte.
And I'm Gabby.
And today we are doing a tech and safety review of the all-new 2023 Kia Telluride. Now this vehicle that we're showing, it is in the new trim, which is the X-line, and the X-line is primarily going to be an appearance package. So there's a couple different key details on the outside of this vehicle. And as we dive into the tech and safety, we're actually going to talk about what is actually standard on this vehicle, because a lot of these features start in the EX, which is going to be the entry-level model for the Telluride this year.
We'll also go into what is additional, so what you'd have to move to the SX, SX Limited, or the X-line and X Pro to get. So I think the results may surprise you guys.
So I'm going to be talking about the exterior tech and safety that we do have on the Telluride. But first things first, there's nothing more exterior than the key. So we will show you guys the key fob. It is redesigned and it is bigger than the ones we've seen before, but it still has that slim profile, so it's easy in your pocket. But one of the new features, are you even really going to need this key in your pocket? And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But just to show you guys what it does have is, of course, it still has your standard lock button, unlock, power lift tailgate, which this vehicle does have, and then your panic button. Also, this vehicle does have remote start. I was going to say remote smart park, but it actually doesn't have smart park, but it does have remote start, which is perfect for the winter. So that is going to be the key. Now let's take a look at actually what is going on with this vehicle. So I'll have Mark give a nice pan to the front grille. And I know this has been controversial, but of course the redesign of the headlight units in the front end of this vehicle has something that some people love and some people don't like. But we're not talking about design today. We are strictly talking about what is tech, what is safety. And what comes down to safety is that these units, they're all LEDs. This vehicle on the outside for front and rear, it's full LEDs, so you're not going to have a problem with brightness, and that actually does start on the EX too. So your daytime running lights, your fog lights, your signal lights. Gabby, do you want to hit the signal? There it is, beautiful amber signal light. It's all LEDs, it's all nice and bright. Continuing with talking about the front, I will show you guys that we do have a front camera here. So this camera and the parking sensors, which are right here on the front, there's a couple of them. Those are really going to work with a lot of the safety features that this vehicle has. It does have forward collision avoidance assist. So if somebody hard brakes in front of you and you are driving and the vehicle senses that, it does have the ability to mitigate a collision and actually stop the vehicle. Also, it does have smart turning with junction cross and pedestrian detection as well. That's really going to conclude a lot of what's on the grille. But I do want to talk about the windshield, and I do want to talk about also the driver's door too. So something that I like to point out is that the windshield and the front doors, they are both acoustic and solar glass. So with it being acoustic glass, that helps kind of minimize the outside road noise that you're hearing when you're actually driving the vehicle. And then solar glass, it's going to help kind of minimize the UV rays that are coming into the vehicle. So I like to point that out because it is common to have that in the windshield, but not necessarily on the front doors. So that's something that's nice as well. On the windshield, and I'm not too sure how much you'll be able to see this, you will see that we do have a little camera. I'm not too sure how well it's picking up. Thanks, Gabby, for pointing that out. And that's going to help with a lot of your lane keep features and also your cruise control. That camera actually has the ability to read the markers on the road to keep you centered in your lane and everything like that as well. So it's going to work a lot in conjunction with the cameras and sensors on the front and then your smart cruise control features too. All right, so now we'll take a look at the side of the vehicle. So we're going to start by talking about the mirrors, and then we'll continue moving backwards. So obviously body colored mirrors. For your tech, for your safety, we do have turn signal indicators, which are nice and bright. I love it when vehicles have turn signal indicators on the mirror. I just love that it's, one more thing that's flashing when you're trying to make a lane change. And then also beneath your turn signal indicator, you'll see that we have another camera. So if you guys also haven't noticed, this vehicle has tons of cameras. We're still only in the first quarter of the vehicle, and we've counted 1, 2, 3, and 4 cameras. So there's cameras all the way around this vehicle. And this one is great because, again, it's going to be picking up on the road markers as well as you are in your lane. It's also going to help with your 360 camera, which this vehicle is equipped with, and Gabby will actually show the feed from that when she gets into the vehicle as well. If you want to take a look now, Mark, come around, at the actual mirror itself, it does have blind spot monitoring. Again, the camera's going to be helpful with that too, but you'll see we have this little emoticon or icon. I always say emoticon and I always know that's wrong. But basically, if someone is in your blind spot, that is going to be illuminated. The vehicle's going to beep at you. That way you know that it's not safe to get over. The mirrors themselves as the unit, when the vehicle is parked and locked, they do fully fold in and fold out. And then just the glass, when you are in reverse or in drive, it will angle down or upwards to show kind of the bottom of the vehicle or adjust back to the top. And then, of course, they are heated as well. So that's perfect because we're in Canada. I don't know where you guys are watching this from, but it's definitely a great feature to have. So now we can talk about something that really is new on this vehicle. And Mark, I'm going to have you show the door handles. So of course this vehicle, it is push to start, and usually when it's push to start, we have a proximity key, and this is more of a black pad that you can press to unlock the door and then get into the vehicle. Well, it's no longer a pad, it's just part of the door handle, but it is slightly, what's the word I want to use? Yeah, concave, I'll take that, Mark, on the door handle. And that is because all new on the 23 Telluride is through Kia Connect, you're actually going to be able to use your phone to unlock your vehicle. This is some tech that we've seen from other manufacturers. Tesla is definitely famous for it, and it's so nice that we finally get to see that for Kia as well. Now, the only thing is I actually can't show that today because this vehicle is a sold unit, which means their Kia Connect is registered to their email address, not the dealership, and I obviously don't need access to their personal email. But we are hoping to get a demo unit in the future where we can actually make a video on it and showcase it too. So that's really going to be the side. We'll come around now to the rear. And again, our lights are still on. We have nice bright LEDs on the rear as well. And then, of course, your backup camera is here. So lots of people are familiar with having a backup camera. That's also going to contribute to your 360 monitoring too. And then also on the back, we have rear parking sensors. So similar to what we have on the front, it's got rear cross collision avoidance assist. So same thing, if it detects that you are going to hit something, it does have the ability to stop the vehicle, mitigate that collision. Same thing that we have on the front. I talked about the nice bright LEDs and everything like that too. Your brake light up top, and something that's nice is that, of course, these tail lights, they're not down below on the vehicle. A lot of people have complained about that, not necessarily on the Telluride, just in general. They are actually at eye level, which is super nice. And then Mark also pointed out that we do have another camera up here at the vehicle, so we can add 2 more cameras to our camera count. Lots of cameras. You do have a rear wiper on this vehicle, obviously. And then I did mention that this is the power lift tailgate. So that opens up automatically, literally at the touch of a button. It's super easy to do. And then we can also take a look a little bit in the back. I'm gonna move these mats. And you'll see there, it says spare tire. Now it is mounted underneath the vehicle like how a lot of bigger SUVs have it. But we do know that you have an actual spare tire. It's not a mobility kit. Put these back in. Huh. There we go. And nice and easy, another click of the button, that is going to come down for us. So that's really going to conclude, not exclude, us doing our walk around for the tech and safety on the outside of the vehicle. Gabby is now going to take over and she's going to walk you guys through the interior.
Focus on the mirror, not me. I'm not in it, right? I am in it? No. Okay. All right, guys, check out these mirrors. So they're power folding as long as you're in proximity of the vehicle, which I am. They will open and unlock for you. Now for your door, as long as the key is somewhere on you, whether it's in your pocket, your purse, or just in your hand, I don't have to press anything. Just give it a little push on this indentation and the door unlocks for you. The vehicle will give you feedback, so you did kind of hear that beep and your hazard lights will flash. Alternatively, when you're exiting your vehicle, all you got to do is give it a light push over here and it will lock the doors for you and your mirrors will fold in. So now I can't get in, but now I can again. All right, so let me hop in. We'll start off with the driver's door. So you see all your window controls here, that's pretty standard. But what's not usually standard is that they're all express up and down windows and they all have a safety lock. So I'll show you what that does. Mark is gonna sacrifice his own arm for our YouTube channel and almost punched me in the face. So I'm gonna hit my window to go up. It'll sense his arm and drop right back down. So no hands were involved here for me. This is great if you have children or pets that ride in the car often with you, because if their arms, limbs, anything is out the window, it will drop down and not cut anybody's arms off. Great feature to have. Over here we also have our memory seats, so you can see you have 2 safe settings there. We have done a full review of this video that goes into the comfort features and the seating arrangements. Today, like we said, is going to focus more on safety and technology, so we're going to skip that part and head on down to our sound system. So this is a Harman Kardon sound system, and let me tell you, it sounds amazing. So premium sound, and it extends to the back seats as well too. So all your passengers will get a good listening experience. On the left side over here, we have our brightness selector, tow mode, which is exclusive in the X-line and the X Pro trims. This vehicle does have a 5,000 pounds towing capacity, and the trim level above, the X Pro, will have 5,500 pounds. So great, great, great feature to have, especially if you are towing. This essentially will change the way your transmission and engine operates to give you optimal fuel efficiency and then make it a little easier for you to tow. Over here we have our smart tailgate button, so you can press this to manually or to automatically open your tailgate. You can also do it from your key fob or from the button back there. Kia does also have a feature called Smart Power Tailgate where you walk up to it, it'll sense you after 3 seconds, it'll give you 3 flashes, 3 beeps, and finally open up the tailgate for you. You can turn this off if you don't like it. I personally turn it off just because I'm a little scared of just standing by my car and it opening. We also have our traction control, that's pretty standard. Charlotte mentioned that all our lights in this vehicle are LEDs, and this is where you'd control them. You also have those beautiful LED fog lights. I'll have Mark come around and we'll show you everything else that's in the front. All right, my friends, come on in the cabin. So we'll take a quick look right over here. You may see a little bit of a purple hue. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. This vehicle does have ambient lighting. So you can set this color to whatever you like. Right now I have it set to purple because I think it looks amazing and it matches your beautiful dual 12.3-inch displays. So on the old Telluride, we had a 10.25-inch display here. And then this main screen here, it was a little digital, a little analog. Now everything is fully digital on the trims above the EX. So when you get to the SX and up, both displays are digital. When you're at the EX, this is fully digital, so you get the 12.3 here, but you get the regular 4.2 instrument cluster up there. Come on in, Mark. Make yourself comfy. So I'll talk a little bit about the tech features that are featured in the Telluride. Sorry for using the word feature too much. In this display here, we do have built-in navigation, satellite, and traffic radio. I'm just going to slide over to the right. I'll show you our map real quick. So it's a really, really nice display. It's very smooth. If you do not like using Kia's map, you can actually use your Apple iPhone or Android phone to use Google Maps or Apple Maps. And that I find is a little bit better when it comes to businesses. If you're going to a restaurant, it'll tell you when it closes and whatnot. But you can get access some amazing features on this main screen here. So I'm just going to go to Setup and then Vehicle. And this is where you're going to find all your safety settings, your driver convenience, your heads-up display. This is where you're going to toggle between these different safety settings. You can adjust it as needed and save it to your driver profile. So first I'm going to click Driving Convenience right over here. Charlotte mentioned that this vehicle is equipped with Lane Keep Assist and Forward Collision Avoidance. Now, what she may not have mentioned is how advanced those features are. So for your forward collision avoidance, they work in junctions. It works for oncoming lane changes. It has evasive steering maneuvers. It is a very, very detailed system. We also have highway driving assist. We'll actually pick up which highway you're on as long as it's a registered highway. It'll know the speed limits of the road, when the road curves, when the speed limit changes, all that good stuff, and it will do an automated lane change for you. So very, very cool. Here you can actually play around with those features and adjust it to what you like best. If you don't like the automatic speed change, you can shut that off, but you can leave your automated lane change on. Very, very cool. Now also for your warnings, some people do not love the audible warnings or they think it may not be loud enough. Maybe they want it a bit quieter. You can do that as well too. You can change what warning methods do come up if you want it to actually assist you or if you just want it to give you visual or audible warnings. So here is where you can play around with all that. Our lights just shut off, so give us 1 second while we turn everything back on. So because there are so many features in this one small screen here, I will try my best to go through everything. Let's go back to driving convenience and smart cruise control right up top. You can have it based on your driving style and set it to whatever you like best. So if you do like to follow a little bit more close, you can adjust that there and change your acceleration. If you feel it's a little bit too touchy and very, very quick for you, you can bring it back to slow, leave it in the middle, all that good stuff. You can also turn things off one by one as well too. So I really like this because I find, especially for me, there's some features I love in my car and some features I could totally do without. Like, I don't like when it ping-pongs me in my lane, but I do like the gentle steering assistance. So I always turn off my lane keep assist, but leave on my lane follow assist. I know that sounds so confusing, but they are two different features. If we go down to speed limit, you can change your speed limit offset. You can turn it off completely if it's something you don't like either. So I would personally set that off. You can have it just a warning. Assist means it will actually take over and control it for you. Warning methods, like we spoke about earlier. Driver attention warning. Now this is something that's very, very cool. So let's say you're at a stoplight, the vehicle ahead of you has already left, or even at a drive-through. If you're waiting in the drive-through, not really paying attention, the car ahead of you has already moved. Before people start honking at you from behind, the vehicle will let you know that the car ahead of you has left. I love it so much. It's the little things. We also have driving safety. So forward safety stands for forward collision avoidance. You can turn that off completely, or you can set it to whatever you like best. So right now it's for cross traffic safety. If, I don't know, you're in an intersection, that's where that's going to be. Side safety, so your blind spots, lane safety, blind spot view monitor. This is your camera that turns on when you have your signal on. So whether it's left or right, it'll show you a live feed. And then your exit safety. So when you're parked and let's say you're parallel parked on a busy street and there's a car coming up from behind you on the side, it'll lock your doors if you try to exit and it senses the threat of maybe a collision. So you can keep all your doors. And then we also have parking safety down at the bottom. So surround view monitor automatically on. Let's say you just want your rear view camera on, then you can turn that off. And when you throw your car into reverse, it'll only show your backup camera rather than your full 360. You also have the warning, so when you get a little too close, or your sensors to show you just how close you are. Rear safety, this is going to be your collision avoidance. And then cross traffic, so that's vehicles coming from either side, kind of crossing behind your vehicle. So now we'll take a look at drive modes. Here is where you're going to see your settings for your tow mode. So like I mentioned, X-line and X Pro only. You can change the weight of whatever you're towing. So whenever you click the tow mode button on the left side of the steering wheel, it is preset to whatever you have saved last. So if you do change whatever trailers on your vehicle, you want to make sure you go into your settings here and adjust it as needed. Head back here, heads-up display. So on the SX Limited trim and up, you do get a 10-inch heads-up display. I'm going to try my best to show it. So let me just take the camera from Mark. You may be able to see it there, just on the back of Charlotte's chair. It says 0 kilometers per hour with a line. There's Charlotte right there. So if I was driving, of course, that would adjust to whatever speed I'm traveling at. If I did have my cruise control on, that line would actually show where I'm at from the vehicle ahead of me, so it'll move. It's very, very cool. And if you also have a route set on your navigation, it'll tell you your turn by turn. I absolutely love it because you don't have to take your eyes off the road. Under cluster here, you can change the theme, the illumination, all of that good stuff. But let's head down to lights because this is one of my favorite things ever. Ambient lighting here, color, and then it gives you a bunch of presets. So I don't know, let me click the orange, for example. You take a look there, now it's orange. But for true driver customization, you can go to set custom color and pick anything from this color wheel and then it will adjust. It looks amazing. It's not too dramatic during the day here. There's so much light in our video bay, but at nighttime it is very bright. If this isn't your style, you can actually turn it off completely as well too. So it's really nice. You can play around with everything in this vehicle. Next up, what I'm about to show you is super cool. I'm totally geeking out over it. So this is your regular rear view mirror, right? Wrong. Check this out. So you have this little tab over here. If I push it up, she is fully digital. That is Charlotte. She's right behind us. So for reference, she's literally really there. And then you can turn it back off and it's back to your regular mirror. I think that is so, so cool. For some people, you may find it distracting and maybe a little too gadgety for you. You may not like it. It's super nice. You can choose it on or off and it's super easy to just flip up or flip down. This is standard on the SX trim and then above. So super great feature. I'm really glad we got something like this. We do have it in the Hyundai Palisade as well too. I'm excited to see it show up on more of our cars. This isn't technology, but I always like to mention this whenever we review a car because Kia and Hyundai seem to be getting rid of this a lot. This is your sunglass holder. This is the epitome of tech and or safety. Close that up real quick. Another thing I always like to point out is when vehicles have your LED lights inside, just because I do really like them. It does make a difference, especially in a vehicle that has so much darkness in it. Like you got your black headliner, the seats are black in this trim level. It makes it really pop out at night. I do love that. Down here though, in true tech form, we do have a larger wireless phone charger. So as days and time go by, phones get bigger. That's no surprise. So if you got an iPhone Pro Max or some Samsungs are huge, it's really nice how it'll actually fit in your wireless phone charger. The old Telluride had a much more confined phone charger. Down here we also have a regular USB and USB-Cs. Another thing you'll note is almost every USB or USB-C that you find in the Telluride is a C type. So a lot of newer phones are resorting to a USB-C. It is faster charging, so it's really nice how the vehicles are moving along with the times. Down here, we also have our drive mode select. So in the Telluride, you have 4 different drive modes: Comfort, Eco, Sport, and Smart. And then you have 3 different terrain modes. So safety-wise, in Canada, this is huge. We definitely experience snow, mud, and sand. That depends more on the customer or the driver, but it's nice to know you have optimal traction in those conditions. Down here, we also have our parking sensor button. So this is where you'd go to turn off the sensors. Of course, you'll still have your cameras and everything running, but if you don't like the beeping, you just trickle that off. I'm going to press this real quick for you guys to see what your cameras look like. So we said it so many times today, this vehicle is loaded with cameras, and this is what it comes out to. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. You can see everything that's around the Telluride. We can see right behind the Telluride. Then if I press this button over here, we can see the Telluride and everything around it as well too. So let's take a look. You can see the entire video bay. You can see the Sorento that's parked on the side. You can kind of see Charlotte sitting at her desk right over there, and Teddy. And then if you want to see a specific view, you can toggle between these menus here. So these are our 2 side view mirrors, the ones that are on the turn signal. And then right behind as well for your towing hitch. It's really great if you are towing with this vehicle. I find this super easy to line up with whatever you're pulling. So we'll head back there. That's about it for the tech and safety in the driver's area, the cockpit of the vehicle. Now we'll take a quick look at the back, and that'll be it for our tech and safety review. All right, so now I'm in the back of the Telluride. Charlotte's back there with me. Aside from tech and safety, I just want to say in general, this vehicle is so comfy. So whenever we do go somewhere in a Telluride, everyone's happy. Even if you're sitting in the very 3rd row, it is a very roomy vehicle. But that's not the point of this video. I'm going to talk about what's back here. So like I mentioned earlier, you got 2 USB-Cs, one in the back of the driver's seat, one in the passenger seat. Down here, we have an actual household outlet, so 115 volts, and that's good to charge, I don't know, your laptop, any sort of smaller appliance that needs a little bit more power. Right beside that, you have a 12 volt as well too, so you can also use that to plug in whatever you got to plug in. These seats, they are heated and ventilated just like the driver and passenger seat up there, so optimal comfort up front there. And then I'll also have Mark show the speaker that's on the side. So, like I mentioned, your Harman Kardon sound system does translate to the back of the vehicle. Up here, we do have more LED lighting, so very bright even for your rear passengers. And then we have our rear climate control. So a lot of vehicles, they'll have rear climate control, but it's not set to the rear, so it's not tri-zone climate. This will actually let you set whatever temperature you want back here, and it'll let you change your fan speed and fan direction. So if you want to have it blowing at your feet or your face, whatever it may be. If you do have kids though, and you're worried about them turning the heat on in the summer or the AC on in the winter, you can lock them out and set it, program it right up there. So more tech, more safety. We love it. I changed seats again. I couldn't help myself. Now we're in the 3rd row of the Telluride. I'm pretty comfortable as well too, so I got lots of headroom. I got a lot of room for movement. So that concludes our Telluride tech and safety walk around. Let us know if you have any questions about these safety features. I know there's a lot of them. We have done a video of just about every tech or safety feature that Kia offers, so we will link a couple of those in our description below for a more detailed, in-depth, and on-the-road review. Charlotte?
We've also done a full complete walk around on this vehicle as well, so if you're more interested in talking more about the design, what does this trim have versus some of the other trims, and then also the specs of the vehicle, we do have that video as well, which we'll make sure is linked down below. As always, we are a real dealership located here in Brantford, Ontario. So if you guys do have any questions about any Kia or Hyundai product, Gabby and I would love to help you out with that. And we'll again have a link in our description box below. That way, if you guys have questions, you can reach out and we can answer them for you.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully we will see ya in a Kia.